What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is my spoiler review for 1917. Very, very good movie. Finally got to the theater to see Star Wars and 1917. And I really wanted to see 1917 because of all the buzz around it. It won Best Picture at the Golden Globes. It's nominated for a lot of Oscars. It's already got a lot of awards. And so I'm like, I gotta go check this out. Here is my first initial thoughts. It has a gimmick, and I think it's a gimmick that works. Do I think that that gimmick necessarily necessitates that it is worth all the awards it has been given? I have a hard time with that. I really do. I really, really do. I love this movie. I really did. It's directed by Sam Mendes, and it has George McKay as Lance Corporal Will Schofield and Dean Charles Chapman as Lance Corporal Blake. These are two guys. They're given an order. It's, World War II, and you've got a couple of guys who are given a mission to get a message to another battalion across a very heavily fought area in this war. And one of the gentlemen, Lance Corporal Blake, has a brother on the other side. And that's one of the reasons they chose this particular person, because they know his family affiliation is going to make him fight very hard to get there. Unfortunately, it also makes him emotional and not always thinking things through. So the premise is that this message is letting another battalion know that they should not go on this strike against the Germans that they had planned, because it's a trap. The Germans pulled back on purpose. They want the English to go over there and attack them, and it's going to be a slaughter. And so these two guys are the only hope they have of preventing this slaughter. Initially, the acting is very, very well done. I think the two main actors, George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman, did a wonderful job at conveying a lot of really good emotion here. Being a war movie, you have to have those very big moments, these gravitas moments, and you get those in here. And I think the actors' emotions really are conveyed very, very well. That's one thing I really noticed right off the bat. Dean Charles Chapman, obviously, got to be torn about the fact that his brother is walking into something that'll surely get him killed. Other actors in here, you have Colin Firth as General Aaron Moore. This is the general that gives these two guys their orders to take this message to Colonel Mackenzie, who is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. And honestly, Colin Firth, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Mark Strong as Captain Smith all have fairly small roles in this. They're there, they have a scene, and then they're gone. But they were actually very, very good. Benedict Cumberbatch, I thought, was a really interesting choice and looked really good, honestly. So General Firth gives them their orders. They embark on this mission that is basically a suicide mission for both them and the other team. They run into some complications for sure. So they get to this German line where they said the Germans had pulled back, and sure enough, the Germans had pulled back. And at one point, they're investigating the bunker, and they're looking at all these empty bunks and all the, where the Germans lived, and it was pretty big. And then Schofield, Lance Corporal Schofield, notices a trip mine, and a rat, of all things, runs right into the trip mine, and it kind of collapses a lot of rubble on Schofield, and instantly you think he's dead. Like, the bomb goes off, it was a heavy concussion. Dean Charles Chapman kind of unburies him, and he's still alive. He's got a lot of dust and soot in his face, can't really see, and so Lance Corporal Blake has to kind of grab him and guide him out because he can't see. So really good, man. It was a really good surprise there too, because it was like out of nowhere. The rat hits the tripwire and boom, and you're like, oh shit. So that was cool. Throughout the movie, you've seen these guys walking through fields and they see a couple of American planes. And then they see a dogfight where they've got two Americans shooting down a German plane, and the German plane lands very, very close to them. And so Blake, Schofield wants to put the German out of his misery. Blake is trying to show him compassion. So Schofield goes to get some water from a very nearby well. But while he's doing that, Blake gets stabbed by the German. Dies right there. So Blake, going to find his brother, dies on the way. Now it's left to Schofield. It was pretty emotional at that moment when he gets stabbed, and of course he's bleeding out. Schofield's holding him, and yeah, it was definitely a moment that grabbed you for sure. Schofield, against all odds, finally makes it to Colonel Mackenzie, and so he gets the stop order, and he accomplishes his goal. Then he has to go face Lieutenant Blake. First of all, he has to hope that Lieutenant Blake is alive. This is Lance Corporal Blake's brother that he was trying to save. And so he runs into Lieutenant Blake, who is played by Richard Madden, and he lets Blake know that his brother died trying to save his life, and definitely talked up Blake, saying that Lance Corporal Blake had saved his own life. And very emotional part of the movie too. Very cool. So it was a very good movie. I felt like this was absolutely amazing all the way around. Some great performances. The score really put you in the movie. There were moments where the music really created the feeling for you, and that was, I think, very important for this kind of movie. Like, there were moments of tension there where the music just really added so much more to it. So, very cool there. The one-shot gimmick, honestly, I feel like this movie could have been made without the one-shot gimmick. It could have been done in one shot or several shots and been the exact same movie, as far as I'm concerned. But it was very good. I really liked that they did it, and it had to be a pain in the ass to pull off, to be very honest. So, at the end of the day, it was a very good movie. I give it a strong 9.5, maybe 10 out of 10. I'll just go 10 out of 10, honestly. I felt like it was very, very good. Absolutely amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of where I'm at with it. 10 out of 10. I would say this is a perfect movie for what it is. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz, Kaged Nation.